Hey everybody, my name is Mr. Francy and welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. It is reading vlog time and boy do I have some stuff to catch y'all up on. Okay, first of all we need to talk about two books in a sad way, I guess. The first one is Shopaholic Abroad by Sophie Kinsella. This is book number 2 in the Shopaholic series. And the second one is this hardcover edition, which is not the one I was actually reading, but is it glossy? Yes, it is. So we'll grab the paperback. There we go. This is the one I was actually reading, which is Dance of Steel, book number 3 in the, oh gosh, Steel and Fire series. I had to think there. All right. And when I decide to hold the book the right way around, it'll be a good thing. All right, let's quickly talk about both of these. And yeah, so I'm going to keep this very, very quick. I have actually shelved both of these books, and I'll tell you why. This one, first of all, Shopaholic Abroad, I do plan to get to it. I lost some time over the course of the past 2 weeks, and so because of that, I decided I need to prioritize with certain books, so I've just shelved this temporarily. I don't know when I'm going to pick it up, but it will be at some point. The Shopaholic series is no longer a priority series for me on my SAS list, so I'm just shelving it for the moment. I'll get back to it when I get time to do so. As for Dance of Steel, I started this book technically. I think I read like a chapter or two, and then I shelved this book because the series is no longer giving me what I want it to be giving me, and I just don't have the time to accommodate for a book that's really just not working for me at the moment. I'm not DNFing the series from my SAS list, so it is technically a shelve and not a DNF at this stage, but yeah, I'm, as I said, for both of them, I'm shelving them to prioritize with the series that I do want to prioritize with on my SAS list. Speaking of which, let's discuss the books that I've read so far this week, read in the last week, I should say, to this point. And all of the books that I've read come from series that I am prioritizing with on my SAS list. So I just want to give you this heads up, because next month in July, I am fully only reading books that I'm dedicated to in my SAS list, one of which I'm looking to actually finish. I'm going to read 4 books in a row of a certain series, and other books as well. I think I only have one book that is a first book in a series, so yeah, I'm just dedicating myself right now to my SAS list. All right. Last time we spoke, I was reading Champion, and this is the 3rd book in the Legends series. I love this Legends series. It has moved to the shelf above where you can see 12 Slaves of Christmas. It's up there. And that's because I'm trying to put all of my SAS list series over here so I can see where they are. And all of the series that I have on my SAS list that I'm just confirming, that are not Cozy Mystery series are up on that higher shelf that you can't see, and all of the Cozy Mysteries that I have on my SAS list are on these 2 shelves right here. Okay, so this is book number 3 in the Legend series. I gave book number 1 Legend and book number 2 Prodigy both 5 stars, and I'm continuing on with, in that vein, I've given Champion 5 stars as well. I had to stop this book 3/4 of the way through, and I'll explain why when I talk about the second book that I read this week. But I enjoyed my time with this read. I love this series. I can't believe that last year I only read 1 dystopian. I love my dystopians so much. So yeah, really, really enjoying myself. There's really not a lot I can say. It is book number 3, and I feel like anything that I could say to this point is going to spoil the series because we're so close to the end. So all I'm going to say is I gave it 5 stars. Still really loving it. Highly recommend it. If you love YA dystopians, I highly, highly recommend this series. So yeah, 5 stars from me. And I don't know when I'm reading book number 4, but I think it's going to be in August, because I'm not only prioritizing with my SAS list, which this series is on my SAS list, but I'm mostly prioritizing with my Cozy Mysteries that are on my SAS list in July. All right, but anyway, there's that one, 5 stars. So, as I was saying, I ended up having to put Champion down because of another book, and the reason for that is because I had borrowed a book on Hoopla. I'm still trying to get used to Hoopla. For those of you who don't know, I have a myriad of audiobook platforms that I use. I was going to say work with. I work with all these platforms. It feels like that. It feels like I work with them. But anyway, so I use Audible, I use Scribd, used to use audiobooks now, but they charge $1.50. I use Audible Australia, Audible America. I don't use Audible Australia anymore. I now just use Audible America, which has been fantastic. And I'm also using Hoopla. But the one thing that Hoopla has, Hoopla has that the rest don't have is that with Hoopla, you are limited to the amount of time that you can have access to the book that you have borrowed. Because when it comes to Scribd or Audible or even audiobooks now or anything else I've used, you are purchasing the audiobook, so you have all the time in the world to read it. And with Hoopla, I forgot that you're borrowing for a certain amount of time, so I borrowed 3 books on Hoopla in advance, and thank goodness Cozy was able to tell me, because Cozy's helped me to gain access to her Hoopla, and I really appreciate that. And Cozy advised me that this book was going to be returned in like 4 days, and I just went, wait, what? Whoa! So I quickly put Champion down and then picked up a book for a series that you all know I love so much. It is book number 5 in the Amish Candy Shop series by Amanda Flower, which is this book, Marshmallow Malice, with Jethro on the cover. So obviously there's been a bit of a change here, so let me quickly explain that, and it does coincide with talking about this book because I used to have every single Amish Candy Shop book displayed along here, but I have recently decided to change the way that I'm doing my bookshelves. So at the moment, the series that are Cozy Mysteries that are on my SAS list, what I've decided to do to highlight them is put the first book on top of the pile of the rest of the books. So this is book 1, and then you got here 2, 3, 4. This is obviously 5, it will go under there. And this is the Amish Candy Shop Holidays, which has the novellas in it. And then here I have Witching Flower, and then below Witching Flower I have book 2. I have Pirate's Cove here. Next to that you can't really see is A Secret to Skull House. And then up here I have 12 Slays of Christmas, which is not on my SAS list, but I love it. And I have the other 3 below it. And then here, just out of the frame, is Class Reunions Are Murder, and I have book number 2 below that as well, because Poppy McAllister is on my SAS list. Alright, let's get back to this one, Marshmallow Malice. This was so much fun, and if you want to get more thoughts that I'm going to give you here on this book, I definitely recommend checking out my Goodreads review, because I spent more time on my Goodreads review for this one because of just how much I appreciate not only Amanda Flower, but Amanda Flower with this series in particular. It has just done so much for me this year. I ended up giving this book 4.5 stars, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But first up, the premise. So if you haven't read this series before, I highly recommend it. We're following a woman by the name of Bailey King, who is a well-renowned chocolatier from New York City, who she goes back to Amish country in Ohio to take care of her grandparents. Her grandfather is deathly ill, and she, due to a set of circumstances, ends up staying there with her grandmother, who runs a candy store called Swissman Sweets, and she helps out there, and lots of things go on along the way. In this particular book, there is a wedding that is due to take place. I'm going to tell you whose wedding it is. If that's a spoiler, I'll raise my hand and I'll lower it, when I'm done with the spoiler. So, spoiler time. So we have a wedding that's taking place between Juliet and the pastor, and this, of course, had me really excited because this is something that's basically been teased the entire series. So it's like, finally, they're doing this. And during the service, a crazy woman, like, seriously, she's really crazy. She rushes into the church and basically objects to the wedding. Interestingly enough, in Amish culture, there is no section in a wedding ceremony to object, but she tries to. Juliet and the pastor still do end up getting married, but the following morning, right before Sunday service, Bailey finds the crazy woman on the doorsteps to the church. She has been killed, and so we need to try and find out, what's going on here and who the murderer is. Okay, hand down. I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, so there you go. Okay, thoughts and feelings on the book. Look, the reason it didn't receive 5 stars for me was because of the reveal for the mystery itself. The reveal let me down. That's not to say the mystery let me down, because it didn't. I really enjoyed Bailey King doing her sleuthing and trying to work out who the killer was, as I always do, but the reveal itself of who the killer was did really let me down. But other than that, I loved everything else about the book. I love how cozy this book is. I mean, I've read a number of different cozies this year, clearly. and I have to say, Amish Candy Shop has been one of the most cozy mystery series that I've ever read. And that's saying a lot. And that's probably why I love it so much, because a lot of the others vary in range of, if we're going to say, like, for example, 50% cozy, 50% mystery, or 70% mystery and 30% cozy, whatever. This, to me, this series represents with each book, not each novella, that is different, but each book, full book, represents to me more like 70% cozy, 30% mystery, and I just really appreciate that. But yeah, I loved the cozy side. I love Bailey King as a sleuth. I love Bailey King as a chocolatier, as someone who's making all this candy stuff. And yeah, really enjoyed all that. I love Jethro. Oh my gosh. If you haven't read the series before, Jethro is the pig, as I said, that I was referring to earlier on. Have you ever come across a series where the main star is an animal and he's a pig? I love it. It's so good. And you can tell how much Amanda Flower loves animals with this series too. There's just so much I could gush about when it comes to this series, as well as this particular book in general. But to summarize, I gave it 4.5 stars. As I said, took off 0.5 stars for who the reveal was, but I loved everything else about this book. And next month, I'm going to read the final novella, which is Candy something. And then after that, I'm going to read Lemon Drop Dead, and then I'll be completely up to date, and then Peanut Butter, or, well, what we call on my Discord, because I don't like peanut butter, Volder Butter, Panic, will then come out, and I will have, once I've read those next three books, I will be completely up to date with the series, which is going to be a double-edged sword for me, and I know that because I'm going to be so proud of myself that I've completed this series, but at the same time, I won't have any books left to read, and I think it'll just be a really sad moment for me, so yeah. But anyway, it is what it is. 4.5 stars from me. Really loved it. Highly recommend the series. Highly recommend the book. So then today I moved on to the next book that I'm reading, and I have 2 series on my SAS list that should be completed by the end of next month. And so in order to do that, they are both 3-book series. I've read book 1 in both of them. So my goal for this week coming is to read book 2 from both of those series, and then I can read book 3 next month. So those series are the Silversex Crafting Mystery Series by Nancy Haddock. I really did not enjoy book number 1, but I've been hearing around the campfire of Discord, the goss around the water cooler, I guess I'll just call it the campfire. I've been hearing around the campfire of Discord that, the second book's going well. I'm trying so hard not to look at the comments because the second book in the Silversex Crafting Mystery Series is a buddy read, and I keep getting notifications and I keep swiping them away because I haven't read the book yet, so I don't want to know anything. But the vibe seems to be a really good one, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that is going to go. But the other series is the Cape Cod Foodie Mystery Series, and I read A Side of Murder last month. I liked it. I think I gave it 4 stars. I can't tell you too much about the particulars of why I gave it 4 stars, but I think I gave it 4 stars. And so I'm currently reading book 2 in that series, which is this book, An Eggnog to Die For by Amy Pershing. as I say, book number 2 in the Cape Cod Foodie Mystery series. So basically, this has been an interesting series for me. You know, I'm definitely the type of booktuber that if I don't like a book or I have a problem with a book, you're gonna know it, because not only am I going to tell you, but I'm going to get extremely animated. I'm also the type of booktuber where if I love a book, you're gonna know it, not only through my words, but I'm also gonna get extremely animated showing you how much I love the book. This series, I don't think it falls into either camp for me, at least so far. Now, let me just give you an update of where I'm up to, because there's a bookmark in there. So, I'm there. I don't want to crack the spine too much. I'm there, which is 150 pages in. I'm exactly halfway, which is where I wanted to be by the end of today. So, I'm glad that I made it there, and I hope to finish it off tomorrow. And so, being that I'm halfway through book 2 in a 3-book series, I am technically halfway through the series. And my thoughts on this series is that it's okay. There are things I like about it, there are things I don't like about it, but it's fine, and it's a series that I can get through. Is it going to be on any of my absolute favourite lists of all time? Probably not. Who knows, but probably not. But it's also not going to be on my worst list, like worst books I've read list either. It's more just a plateau. It is what it is. It's fine. It's readable. The characters are fine. I don't know. It's just not sparking anything within me that's making me go, this is an amazing series. But the setup of the series is we're following a woman by the name of Samantha Barnes, who is a food critic. And this is what got me excited about this series, because here I imagined we were going to follow a food critic in a cozy mystery series, and in my mind, and this is why we should never make presumptions, but in my mind, we were going to follow a food critic who, while they were sleuthing, doing whatever they need to do to solve whatever mystery in whatever book, on the cozy side, we would actively see them being a food critic. I have seen this kind of play out twice so far, and we're halfway through the series. The first time was in the very first chapter of the first book, and the second time was in the very first chapter of this book. And it's just, it's not there. I feel like, and this is just my own personal opinion, and, you know, there are people out there who love this series, so for me as a booktuber, I feel the obligation that if I'm going to make a statement about something that is personal, like I like this, I don't like this, I feel this way about this certain book, that I want to back it up with why that is the case. And so please know that obviously this is a personal opinion, but for me, when I think of a food critic, I think of all of the steps that it takes to do the job of being a food critic. Showing up to the restaurant, hopefully not telling them that you're a food critic, which Samantha does not do, but some food critics will go out of their way and make it the point. But anyway, and they sit there, they sample the food, and they make notes, probably jot notes down or record notes somehow, I don't know, and then go home and write up the review. And I was expecting to see all of this play out with Samantha Barnes, that she would go to the restaurant and do all of these steps, try the food, take the notes, then we follow her home, and maybe somewhere we're going to see the review, maybe not, who knows, maybe at the end of the book the whole review could be there, or maybe we could just get little updates from her, you know. So that night I was writing the review and I remembered the succulent taste of the pork that I was eating because the flavor of the marinade was dancing on my tongue or something like that, but there's none of that. Literally all we get with the 2 times she is playing the role of being the food critic is that she goes into the restaurant, she tries some food, and then we cut to another scene. And that, for me, is very hard to get invested in. Now, that is not to say that Samantha doesn't talk about food in general, which is totally fine. And it's not like it's being called the Cape Cod Food Critic mystery series. But at the same time, the premise for book one is that we're following Samantha Buns, who is a food critic. So it does annoy me. Look, in saying that, I'm sure you all are wondering, Mr. Francy, you're reading a book that has the word eggnog on the cover. There's a Christmas tree, and it's not even Christmas. It's not even Christmas in July. Quite frankly, I honestly don't care. I'm reading a series, and Christmas just so happened to pop up in the book midway through the series. So to me, that is what it is. And Christmas is not really taking over the book either. I wouldn't call this a Christmas book. I mean, if you want a Christmas book, read 12 Slaves of Christmas by Jacqueline Frost. But this is more just a book that's set around Christmas time. So they do the usual things like getting a Christmas tree and organising gifts and whatever and what they're going to do on Christmas Day. But really, that is very much a side thing compared to everything else that's going on. So what can I say about the book? Because I've rambled for quite a while. So Samantha has to go to this bar because something's happening at the bar. I don't remember. There was an event that was going on, but honestly the event wasn't even really that important, but there's an event that's going on at a bar. And she has to go into an office area to get something. Again, I don't remember what it was. And there is a guy in the office who has been murdered, and so she needs to try and work out who killed this person. Yeah, I don't know. As I say, it's not bad. Not at all. It's not a terrible book. It's just not one that is bringing me sparkles, to be honest. So it is what it is, and I'll keep going. I'm certainly going to be finishing this book off tomorrow, and then I'll finish the series off next month. It is what it is. It's not amazing, but it's not horrible. It's fine. So, there you go. Alright, let's take a moment to look forward as to what I plan to read for the coming week. So obviously, my first plan for the rest of the week is to get through An Eggnog to Die For by Amy Pershing. When that's done, I'll pick up the second book in the Silversex Crafting Mystery Series. I know you all have been waiting for me to join the buddy read. The moment this is done tomorrow, I will pick that book up, which is this book, Paint the Town Dead. Very cute picture of a dog right there. Very cute. But yeah, as much as I love the illustrations of the cover of this book as well as the first one, Basket Case, I love the covers of both of these books. The series is just, hasn't been the series so far for me, but yeah, book one was definitely like 90% mystery, 10% cozy, which I didn't like, but I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening with this book because I think I've seen what I would call a spoiler. I tried so hard to avoid spoilers, but when you're doing a buddy read on your own Discord, it's hard not to see what people are saying. But I think I've seen a comment. I'm going to try and keep this spoiler free. I've seen a comment where someone was saying that the setting has slightly changed in book number 2. And if that is the case, then it could be really interesting to see how things go from there. But I'll tell you what I want to see in here is more from the Silversex crafting group. I want to see them crafting. If I can get that in this book, I will be so happy, let alone it being, book one being 90% mystery, 10% cozy. I'd like for it to be more cozy in this book. But if I can see them construct one thing, I will be so happy. So we will see how we go. When this is done, I'll be picking up book number 3 in a series that I absolutely love. And I make no qualms about it. This series has made me so happy. And it is the Secrets and Scrabbles series. Book number 1 is right here. It is Murder at Pirate Cove. And book number 2 is just out of screenshot. Secret at Skull House. So, I am picking up book number 3. I love the cover so much. It is gorgeous. It is called Murder at the Masquerade, or Masquerade, depending on how you say it. But I love the picture of the mask and the background, which is like a purpley background. Purple and green. Very good colours. Anyway, very, very excited. This series revolves around a boy whose name is Ellery Page. I had to look because it's been a while. Ellery Page, who not only are we following a man, in this Cozy Mystery series, Secrets and Scrabbles, which is not normal, but we're following a man that just so happens to be gay, which I love because, yes, gay representation in Cozy Mysteries, hallelujah, I am totally on board. So wonderful, and I'm looking forward to this. I love masquerades as well, so many reasons to be really excited about this. And now for everyone's favourite game that we like to call Up, 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 Up. These are the books that I've either completed or started in the past week. And up, 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 these are the books that I have started or not started but hope to get through by the end of the coming week. But what books did you read in this past week and what did you think of them? Let me know in the comment section below, and do not be afraid to tell me why you loved or didn't love these books. But in the meantime, that is where I am going to leave it, letting you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful, sparkling, positive support, y'all. I really, really do appreciate it. Yes, but please do be kind, love one another, and spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. And until next time, happy reading!